Would you like to retire someday? There's a lot of people that are talking about retiring early. And one of the things that I really want to tell people is let's just make sure that you retire on time because there's plenty of people that aren't even doing that properly. So once you have a plan to retire on time, now let's start talking about planning an opportunity to retire a little bit early. So the one thing that I really want to help you understand in this particular video is number one, how to turn your income into wealth. Number two, how to retire properly. We're going to talk about the rule of 72. We're going to talk about how to calculate your net worth and why that's important. We're going to talk about some of the different vehicles that you can use to invest for your future and make sure that you can retire on time and with enough money to make it last. My name is Paris Clough, and this is Financial Self-Reliance. On this channel, I love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money. I'm really kind of orienting my channel towards the do-it-yourselfer, somebody who wants to really dive in and kind of get the ideas and go for it and do their own financial planning with the guidance of somebody like myself who can help and really kind of give you some coaching and really help you kind of steer you in the right direction. But then you guys take the initiative and go forth and do it. So this is kind of the sixth step. Today is the sixth step in my 7-step process to create lasting wealth that lasts for generations. And this is the step that I talk to you mostly about investments and why it's important to invest and where you should be investing your money and really building that wealth so that you can retire on time. So let's get into it. So step 6, build wealth and retire on time. I'm having a whole playlist where I'm putting together all of the steps. There's 7 of them. So we're on the 6th step in this particular video. So make sure that you watch all of those in order from 1 to 7. They're put together in a way that you'll be able to understand them. And they're actually designed to go in order. So quite frankly, each of the steps could be watched individually, but they also do build upon each other. So it is a good idea to watch them all in order. So go and check out that playlist on my channel. It's called the 7 Steps to Wealth playlist. So here we go. Step number 6. The first thing is, why do people invest? So people invest obviously so that they can make more money. They become financially secure. Social Security, Medicare may not be available, or it's not going to be anything near what you need it to be. There's going to be, you have to keep up with inflation, which is really high right now. You want to achieve your financial goals. Like there's some major reasons to invest. And one of the biggest ones I think is so that you can retire or that you can actually have a shift or change in your lifestyle. A lot of people work really hard, 9 to 5, 40 for 40 years. They call it the 40 hours a week for 40 years. To retire on 40%. And that's not really the idea. You want to retire on about 80 to 90 or maybe on 100% of your income so that you don't have to worry about having enough money that you can survive, you can thrive, you can actually live a nice life without having to have to stay in the grind or the hamster wheel. So the idea of retiring early is that you want to get out of that hamster, that the rat race, so to speak, earlier than normal. But most people need to really focus in on making sure they at least retire on time. 65 is typically the age that's the place to retire. So we're going to set a goal. We're going to make sure you set a goal to retire at 65 and really obtain that goal. And there's some other videos that I'll do where I take deep dives into how to calculate your financial independence number, how to make sure you're on track, what dollars amounts you need to put at what interest rates. There's 3 major types of investments that you really need to look at. The first one is the stock market. The second one is real estate. And the third is business ownership. Now, I don't know that these are in order particular of speed or reliability, but the stock market is something that you really have to learn and be careful with because you can pick the wrong stock at the wrong time and then you can actually lose a lot of money. Same thing with real estate and same thing with business ownership. In fact, most people say that they start and fail businesses several times before they find the one that actually works and gets them going. But I chose to make most of my wealth and have my passive income, which is pretty significant, in business ownership. I'm a life insurance agent, a health insurance agent, and I've been in health insurance where you create a book of business and that creates a passive income for you year after year. As long as you maintain good relationships with your clients, I get referrals. I actually build my business each year too. So there's a lot in building a business and business ownership that's important. One key thing to remember about business ownership is don't create a job. Don't get into a business where you have to be there the hours that you're working or you're exchanging those dollars. Try to build something where you can step away from it and it can still continue to grow and build for you. So that's one of the reasons why the real estate market is good, because you can buy a property, you can rent it out, and then it just has that cash flow for you. Same thing with the stock market. If you choose your stocks properly, especially in the dividend stock arena, where if you buy some good dividend stocks, you can just have those dividends continue to pay you every quarter, every month, depending on what stock you choose and how often they pay their dividends. So that passive income is what we're looking for. Real passive income that is not the kind of the income that where you don't do anything ever again. Although there's a few places I think where you can go to find that. But even with passive income that most people want to obtain, there's still some work to maintain that. And you're going to have to realize that there's no set it and forget it. Maybe there's a couple of them out there, but the majority of passive income streams are you're going to have to do a little bit of work, or a lot of work up front, actually, and then a little bit of work to maintain it. In the beginning of most passive income situations, you're underpaid and overworked in the beginning. And then you get to the point where you flip that, where you're overpaid and underworked. And that's kind of the idea. Let's talk a little bit about personal retirement plans and how those work. So there's two different types of IRAs. There's the Roth IRA, which is contributions are made after taxes. So you pay your taxes, then you put money in, and then the money grows tax deferred and then potentially tax free. And then a traditional IRA is where you take the money that you're earning this year and you contribute to it, and then you get to reduce your taxes this year by the amount of money you contributed to that IRA. The one concern about that, or one thing to worry about, is the taxes in the future. If you believe taxes are going to go up in the future, you're going to want to put your money into a Roth IRA. If you think that taxes are going to go down or they're going to stay the same, if you think they're going to go down, I don't know what planet you're living on, but hey, here's to hoping, I guess. But if you think taxes are going to go down in the future, then a traditional IRA is probably a good thing for you. Let's talk about a couple of the other types of plans that are really popular out there. 401k, if you have a job or if you're working for an employer, 401ks are great. Now, I want you to know that 401ks to me are like traditional IRAs. If you think taxes are going to go up in the future, it's better to avoid them. Unless, and here's the big key, unless you're getting the match from your employer. The match from your employer actually will help pay for those taxes. In fact, I'll put a card up there for you to check out a video I did on how 401ks really work. So that's really important for you to note. The next thing is a 403b, and 403b is basically a 401k, but for nonprofit or for school districts or for churches, things of that nature. Then we have small business owners like SEP, Simples, and solo IRAs. And then for those that really want to have some extra money and really want to dive into some powerful tools to use, they will use the life insurance retirement plan. That's something that I specialize in. And I personally believe that everybody should have one of these, as well as some of the other plans that they're working on. So if you're interested in learning more about the life insurance retirement plans, or what a lot of people are talking about on TikTok, these infinite banking and all this other stuff, so hit me up at hello@financialselfreliance.net and let me know that you're interested in learning more about the life insurance retirement plans. And I'll do a video on that here pretty soon as well. So stay tuned. So one of the biggest problems that most people think is that they're going to hit retirement age and they're going to be okay. Well, unfortunately, what I was sharing with you earlier about people need to just retire on time. Well, this is a statistic that shows that according to the Federal Reserve data, the average savings by age in the US are as follows. And so if you're in those age categories and you don't have that kind of savings already, you're behind the eight ball, so to speak. You're not where you need to be. You're lagging and you need to catch up. So by 65 to 69, $200,000 is not going to be enough to stay retired. If you're looking at $50,000, $60,000 a year in income, or that you're spending right now, you're going to be retired for 4 years, maybe 5 years at $200,000 in savings. That's not anywhere near enough. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like the whole FIRE community has got a great product. They've got a great solution. However, we need to be teaching people to just retire on time. Get to 65 with $1 million, not 200,000. I mean, this is ridiculous. The average retirement savings at 65 for America is $200,000. We're doing something wrong. And hopefully this video is going to help get some awareness and get some education about how to fix it. One of the big concerns with most people when they get to retirement age is the taxes and investment tax. I actually sat down with a guy who just retired, and he had been retired for actually about a year. And he said, Paris, I'm busier than I was before, and my tax bill is higher than it was before. And there's a lot of things to consider. There's reasons why that's the case, by the way. And we won't get into that in this video, but I'm telling you, there's a reason why. So stay tuned. I'll probably do another video on that soon. So I want to share with you the rule of 72. The rule of 72 basically tells you that if you take an interest rate and you divide it into the number 72, that will tell you how often your money will double. So in this example here, you see, if you're earning 10%, and the 72 divided by 10 is 7.2 years. So every 7.2 years, your money will double. Now, the problem is that most people put their money in a bank earning 0.01 or 0.3 or 0.5 or even 1%. Well, 1 into 72 is 72. So do you have time? Do you have 72 years to wait for your money to double? Or would you rather have your money doubling every 7 to 10 years? That's the thing that we need to be doing, is getting our money doubling more often, more quickly. So the rule of 72, the better the interest rate, the faster it'll grow. Here's an example. Let's say you were 29 years old today and you had $10,000 and you put it in the market earning 4%. That money would double from 29 to 47, because 4 into 72 is 18. So that would be 18 years. It would double from 10,000 to 20,000. And then it will double again from 47 to 65. So from 20,000 to 40,000. Well, what if we just double the interest rate? Should we double our result? Actually, it works out a lot better than that. There's a rule of compound interest, is that it actually ends up being more effective. So at 8%, your money doubles every 9 years. And 8% is actually fairly a balanced portfolio. You're not killing it with 8% and you're not losing a ton. You're in a good portfolio. Strong, solid portfolio is making 8 and probably closer to 10%, especially if you have a long-term horizon. If you're only going to do it for 2 or 3 years, then you're not going to probably see those averages. But if you're doing it for 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years, because a retirement plan is typically that, you start at 25, you want to retire at 65, that's a 40-year window. You're going to find 10%, 8 to 10% very easily, maybe even more. I'm not going to make any promises, but maybe even more, depending on how you're doing it. So that's one key thing that I wanted to share with you about investing. Let's talk a little bit about assessing your net worth. And why is it important to have your net worth? Your net worth is your report card. That's one of the most important things that you can have as an adult, is to know how much you're worth. Do you have a positive net worth or a negative net worth? So to calculate your net worth, you take all of your assets, your home, your cash, your bank accounts, your retirements, your stocks, everything, your vehicles, and you add it all up. And then when you've come to a dollar amount or a figure, then you add up all of your liabilities, your debts, your student loans, your credit cards, your home mortgages, your auto loans, everything that you owe money to. So your assets are things that you own, and your liabilities are things that are money that you owe. And then what you'll do is you take the difference between those two, and that is your net worth. So let's do an example. Let's say you have $65,000 in assets and you have $16,000 in liabilities. That means your net worth is a positive $49,000. So you want to have a positive net worth, not a negative net worth. You want to be able to review your net worth often. Make sure that you're growing your positive net worth. If you have a negative net worth right now, let's work towards getting it to 0, and then work from there to make it a positive net worth. You want to have a positive net worth so that you have a positive report card. I promise you, life is less stressful when you have a positive net worth. I track my net worth every single month and I see how I'm doing. I actually had a significant increase in my net worth this last month, and my year to date for in 2020, this video is we're July of 2023 right now. My year to date is I'm up 6% in my net worth, which is a really cool thing to have happen. You want to have, I would love for it to be more. I'd love to be double digits, but the fact that I have a positive net worth year to date is fantastic. And that's actually moving in the right direction. So hopefully you're taking time to calculate your net worth. I hope this video helped you understand the importance of turning your income into wealth, getting a good rate of return, putting your money in the right places, investing in the right situations, and then making sure that you're keeping track and you're keeping accountable by calculating your net worth. If you missed the last video I produced, you can find it here. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel up here, and check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like. Until the next video, have a fantastic day.